If you're on Social Security, this is something you need to hear because there's a lot of misinformation flying around right now. You see, some folks are saying that Social Security benefits aren't taxed anymore, that the government got rid of taxes on tips and overtime, and that the IRS isn't really enforcing tax rules. But let me tell you straight up, that's not true. If you believe this myth, it could cost you big time come tax season. Real quick, before we break it all down, if you find this kind of info helpful, go ahead and subscribe. That way, you'll always be in the loop on Social Security, government benefits, and financial help. Now, let's get into it. Social Security benefits are still taxed, and there's been no new law to change that. A lot of this confusion started when Congress passed a temporary funding bill to keep the government open. But that bill had nothing to do with changing Social Security taxes. Some politicians have talked about getting rid of these taxes, but nothing has actually happened. Until Congress passes a law and the president signs it, nothing changes. So, if you were planning on skipping taxes this year because you heard they were gone, don't do it unless you want trouble with the IRS. Now, I get it, nobody wants to pay taxes on Social Security. It feels unfair, right? You've worked your whole life, paid into the system, and now you're getting taxed again? But here's the deal, not everyone has to pay these taxes. About half of Social Security recipients don't pay a dime in federal taxes on their benefits. It all depends on your combined income. If that total income is below $25,000 for single filers or $32,000 for married couples filing jointly, you pay nothing. But if it's higher, up to 50% or even 85% of your benefits can be taxable. These thresholds haven't changed since the 1980s, so more retirees are getting taxed each year just because the cost of living has gone up. And let's be real, that's frustrating. Now, some of you might be wondering, wait, if the government is taxing Social Security, where does that money even go? Well, some of it actually helps fund Social Security itself. In 2023, about $50 billion came from taxes on Social Security benefits. And before you say, well, they should just stop taxing it, here's the problem: if they did, the Social Security Trust Fund would run out even faster. Right now, Social Security is paying out more than it's bringing in, and if nothing changes, the trust fund is expected to run dry by 2035. If that happens, benefits could get cut by about 17% across the board unless Congress steps in with a fix. And here's the ironic part: most of the people pushing to eliminate these taxes don't even pay them. It's the folks with lower incomes who would get hit the hardest when the trust fund runs out. So while getting rid of these taxes might sound like a win, it could actually make things worse in the long run unless the government finds a way to replace that $50 billion every year. So what can you do? Well, if you're worried about getting taxed on your benefits, there are ways to plan ahead. If you're still working and collecting Social Security, you might want to check if reducing your taxable income, like contributing to a tax-deferred account, could help. And if you're not sure what to do, talk to a tax professional or financial advisor. At the end of the day, the key takeaway here is this: Social Security benefits are still taxed. There's been no change to the law, and if you earn over those IRS limits, you could be on the hook for taxes this year. The good news? If your income is below those thresholds, you don't owe a dime. But either way, it's better to know now than get hit with an unexpected tax bill later. So, what do you think about all this? Should Social Security benefits be taxed, or should the government get rid of these taxes altogether? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear from you. And if you know someone who's confused about this, send this video to them so they don't get caught off guard. If you found this helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, and if you want to stay updated on everything Social Security, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next update. You're appreciated, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.